Diamond players aren't good. Everybody in the comments always tell me that my champ lobbies look like they're diamond lobbies, plat lobbies, SSL lobbies, but I'm here to show you why I'm the one playing in champ lobbies and not your peasant diamond lobbies. To put it simply, they're just fucking terrible at the game. I am a certified high tier champ player, as seen here, and I am about to bestow upon you the most useful information that you'll ever hear in your fucking life. I am now going to share with you the 10 diamond commandments that every player must follow if they want to get out of diamond. Commandment number 1, flip resets are not everything. There's more to life. I'm not afraid to say that I can't even do a flip reset, but I've gotten champ many times and it's not that hard. Everyone knows that one guy that sends you videos of him doing 1,000 flip resets off the wall, and then he'll show you his rank and he's plat 3. People obsess way too much over the fact that they can do resets when you really just don't need it at all. Now, resets are good in games and they obviously will get you goals, but most people in Diamond aren't able to just always hit these shots automatically and be fucking goats. Like, they'll see players like Squishy Muffins and Justin and other people just hit insane flip resets and think like, oh, if I practice, I'll become pro. Just because you can flip reset doesn't mean you're gonna be good everywhere else in the game. It's just one way to score. That's the only real point of them. If you can find other ways to score, which it's very easy to do in Diamond, then you're fine. Now, obviously it would help to know how to flip reset. And if you already do, I mean, good on you. But if you haven't learned yet and you think like that's the thing that's holding you back, then I gotta tell you, man, it's really not. If you really want to learn a mechanic that's good for this rank to score goals, I would just say get better at air dribbles. They're not that useful either, but they're easier than flip resets and they do kind of the same purpose. And even then, you still don't really need those either. But if you want to be that cool, flashy guy that does all those fucking awesome tricks in ranked, then be my guest. Because everyone knows that Rocket League is about how cool the goals are and not actually winning games. Now, the second commandment is don't go for shots that you know you are going to miss. Something that a lot of people do is just jump for things for no reason, go after things for no reason, even though that there's probably a 1% chance that they'll be able to score that like that. Like, why did he go for that? And it just ends up putting you or your teammate in a very bad spot because you thought you could hit something crazy. Kind of similar to flip resets, everyone wants to be that guy that scores all the cool clips and the goals, but just jumping for everything, even if you're out of position, just to get a hit on the ball, makes you actually look retarded. You have to know when to be able to identify if that's a shot you can take or a shot you should wait on. In most situations, it's probably a shot that you should wait on. More often than not, by going for an absurd shot and leaving yourself out of position will make you lose more than just not taking that shot at all. All right, the third commandment, air roll is your enemy at first. It's one of those things that you're gonna have to learn how to get used to just by doing it. No pro is gonna be able to just teach you how to get used to air roll. You're gonna just have to get used to it on your own. Everyone sees these crazy plays where the pros are in the air for like 10 minutes, just air rolling and boosting and hitting the craziest shots. And they think, oh, maybe if I air roll, I can get better and I can do these shots. But honestly, at the very start, the only thing that you should be using air roll for is just correcting your car to be able to make the right hit. I'd be lying if I said air roll isn't really important, but just at this rank, it's not something that you should focus on. To sum it up pretty well, most of Diamond is players thinking they look good and having all these fancy tricks like flip resets and air rolls, when really they're just actually brain dead. Commandment 4, your opponent is way more inconsistent than you. And what I mean by this is don't always believe that your opponent is just going to be able to hit the ball every time and make the perfect hit. They're probably as shit as you are, and they're going to fucking miss the ball every time, just like you. The fakes in this rank are almost never on purpose. Having the mindset that there is a slight chance that the opponent might miss is always something you need to have. But, you know, it could happen whenever, so you just have to be ready, just like that. Every once in a while, you have to take risks and just go for things. And if the opponent misses it, then he misses it, I guess. But just keep in mind that they're not always going to be hitting the ball. And as much as your opponents miss the ball, your teammate's probably going to miss it 3 times as much. Everyone knows your teammate's always worse than your opponent's. All right, commandment 5. It's pretty simple, actually. Just learn the basic mechanics. I mean, it's true you're going to need mechanics eventually, but it doesn't mean you have to learn how to do the craziest shit just to get up the next rank. For me personally, all I really use in games consistently is wave dashes, half flips, and fast aerial. Now, I'm not going to give you a tutorial on how to do all these because they're all really fucking easy. If you want to learn how to do it, I'm sure there's 1,000 tutorials on YouTube that'll show you. These shouldn't take you more than a day to learn, especially wave dash and fast aerial. But these overall just improve the playstyle and make it a lot easier to get faster and more consistent at the game. And being more mechanical is an advantage. I'm not trying to tell you it's not, but if you're not mechanical, don't just blame it on that and make that the excuse for why you're not ranking up, because it's really not the reason why you're not ranking up. Other simple mechanics I guess you could practice, if you could even call these that, is just power shots and then just backboard reads in general. All right, commandment 6, you can do a lot with just a little. Now, more specifically, I'm talking about boost, but it kind of applies to a lot of different things. Everyone knows that one guy that on defense has to have 100 boost no matter what, or when he's going for a shot has to have 100 boost or else he won't even go in the air. It is nice to have more boost, obviously. Most saves can be saved with less than 30 boost. Now, if you're going for longer wall plays and dribble plays, then obviously you want more boost, but it's not a needed thing. And then something that kind of goes along with that is don't use all your boost on one play and then just immediately just go to the next 100 boost pad. You don't need to use all of your boost just to hit the ball once. You should be learning how to save your boost and not rely on it all the time. If you're someone who likes to play threes, this is something you have to learn a lot. And if you play twos, it's also pretty useful. And if you play ones, yeah, there's something wrong with you. All right, commandment 7, ball control is a must. Learning how to just do simple dribble plays will get you way farther in the game than learning how to do all the other bullshit shots. And you don't even have to learn anything crazy, just learn simple flicks. And that will be probably enough to get you past at least one defender. And even sometimes dribble plays will get you through the whole team if you're good enough. The main thing with dribbling is just learning spacing. If you know you're going to be able to get it over them, then that's exactly when you should do the flick or whatever move that you need to get it by them. I mean, the only thing you need to get used to with this is just having the ball on top of your car and maybe learning how to get better at cutting and trapping the ball. That's the only thing that really matters. Everything else just takes time and experience to get used to. If you want to get good at doing dribble plays and getting used to it, just do ones. Even though ones is the most shit mode in the game, it forces you to actually think about what you're doing with the ball instead of just hitting it and waiting for your teammate to hit it in the corner to bounce off the wall so you can do your silver shot. Commandment 8, don't just hit the ball just to hit the ball. In the lower ranks, everyone thinks that you just need to constantly be hitting the ball. And a lot of the times this just gives the opponents the ball and like extra shots to shoot on you. And it doesn't do shit for anyone. The main thing that I see in games is when the ball will roll on the wall and people just hit it off as soon as they can just because it's on the wall. And I mean, I guess that'll go in sometimes, but it just doesn't do a lot. If you waited and let the ball roll to the ground and maybe set something else up, I think it'd be a lot better. And if you really don't have anything, just give it back to your teammate or hit it back to the corner so you can set something else up in a better position. Commandment 9, your teammates aren't everything. Everybody knows that your teammates are the root of all evil and they're at fault for every single problem. But if you know this, don't rely on them to score and do all these crazy plays, and then when they fuck everything up, get pissed because you knew this was going to happen anyways. Queuing with randoms is probably one of the worst things that you have to go through if you play this game, but chances are you probably have no friends and you can't play with anyone that's your skill level. Obviously, if you're playing modes like 3s and 2s, you have to get used to the team dynamic, but it's obviously possible to do solo plays on your own and actually score goals without the use of your teammates. The average play in Diamond is just hitting it in the corner and then waiting for your teammate to score if it gets over the defender. But things like dribble plays have the potential to beat the whole team and then still score goals without the use of your teammates. It's obviously harder in 3s, but it's still possible. And I'm not saying totally just fuck over your teammate in every way possible, but a lot of the times you just have to create your own wins and just don't expect your teammate to be the one to score the goals for you. And now, commandment number 10. There's no one tip trick that's just gonna make you better overnight. You can listen to all the advice and apply it to your games obviously and get better, but just because I'm telling you this doesn't mean you're automatically just going to be better at the game and get out of Diamond as soon as you click off this video. You have to have experience. So this is a combination of game sense, mechanics, and just overall knowing how this game works. Just getting in more games, more hours is going to obviously make you a better player regardless of how well you do. This is applicable to everything in life. If you just do it more often, you're obviously going to get better at it. Honestly, in my opinion, even if you're not watching videos on how to get better and learning all these cool tricks and tips, if you just played the game every day for a couple hours, eventually you would at least get to champ 1. Diamond is the most overrated rank. No one's particularly skilled in it. I really truly believe anyone can get out of it if they actually want to. Just don't be a dumbass, and I mean that's probably enough, honestly.
06, I got too much speed. I'm terrified, I can't help but bleed. That's bad.